In the previous video, we tried to do some problems in demand analysis, and in this video, we'll talk about substitution and income effects in case of normal goods and inferior goods, and then we'll continue with our conceptual problems. Now let me try to understand what is substitution effect and what is income effect for normal goods. We all know that for normal goods, when my income increases, the quantity demanded also increases. So let me try to put a graph here. So I have two different goods, X and Y. On the X-axis, I have quantity demanded for good X, and on the Y-axis, I have quantity demanded for good Y. Now, suppose this is a budget line, and different points on the budget line indicate different combinations of X and Y that I am willing to buy. Okay. And then you also have an indifference curve I. We all know what is an indifference curve by now. So the point of tangency between the indifference curve and the budget line is the most optimal point of consumption for the consumer. So I can see this point here, and if I try to pull it down on the x-axis, that will tell me how many units of good X I am willing to consume given my budget line and my indifference curve. So let me call that point as A. So initially I am consuming A units of good X. Now suppose the price of good X decreases. So when the price of good X decreases, I have more real income at my disposal. I have more money to spend. Okay. So what should I do? So normally, because my good X is a normal good, I tend to buy more of good X. So my budget line will slightly shift, and now I have a new budget line with the same quantity of good Y, but you can see that my quantity for good X has increased. And then I have a new indifference curve I dash and a new point of tangency between my new indifference curve and the new budget line. So let me pull that down. So now I have another point C on the x-axis. So this means because the price of good X has decreased, I am buying a higher quantity of good X. Okay. So suppose A is equal to 4, which means initially I was consuming 4 units of good X, and C is 20. Because of the change in price for good X, now I am consuming 20 units of good X. So what is the total effect of the change in price for good X? I just take the difference between the two, 20 minus 4, that is equal to 16 units. So because the price of good X has changed, my consumption changed by 16 units of good X. Now part of this is also because of change in income, because when the price of good X has changed, it has also changed my real income. Okay. And part of it is because of substitution effect. So let me try to segregate this change between income effect and substitution effect. In other words, I want to know how much of the change is because of income effect and how much of it is because of substitution effect. Okay. So how do I do that? So what I do is I have to come back to my original indifference curve, because that had the most optimal point of consumption given my original budget constraint. Okay. So I draw a line which is exactly parallel to my new budget line, but which is tangential to my original indifference curve I. Okay. So now I have a new point of tangency. So I try to pull it down and call that as B. Okay. Now suppose B is equal to 12. B lies somewhere in between A and C. So suppose B is equal to 12 units. So my substitution effect is AB. That is 12 minus 4, which is 8 units. Why AB? Because both A and B lie on the same indifference curve. Okay. So my substitution effect is equal to 8 units and income effect is equal to BC. Why? Because B lies on my original indifference curve and C lies on the higher indifference curve. So when my indifference curve goes higher, it indicates an increase in the income. Okay. So my income effect will be BC, that is 20 minus 12, which is 8 units. So out of 16 units, 8 units is because of the substitution effect and 8 units is because of the income effect. Now that we discussed about normal goods, let's talk about inferior goods and let's see what happens to the substitution effect and income effect in case of inferior goods. So I have my x-axis and y-axis. So on the x-axis, I have quantity demanded for good x, and on the y-axis, I have quantity demanded for good y. And this is my original budget line. And different points on this line indicate different combinations of good x and good y that I can buy. Alright, so this is my initial indifference curve I, and we all know that the point of tangency between the indifference curve and the budget line gives me the most optimal point of consumption. So I got this point here, and if I try to extrapolate it on the x-axis, I get point A. So initially I was consuming A units of good X. Now suppose the price of good X decreases. So obviously, as per the law of demand, the quantity demanded for good X will increase. So now I have a new budget line and a new indifference curve, right? So if I try to extrapolate it on the x-axis, I have a new point C. So now I have shifted from A to C, which means initially I was consuming A units of good X. Now I am consuming C units of good X. Okay. So let me try to give some numbers here. Suppose A is equal to 4 units and C is equal to 12 units. So the net effect because of the change in the price of good X is equal to 12 minus 4, that is 8 units. Now let me try to divide this between income effect and substitution effect. Now there is a small change here. Income effect will actually bring down the consumption of good X. Why? Because good X is an inferior good. So for inferior goods, when income increases, the quantity demanded decreases. So let's start with substitution effect. So my substitution effect will be, in order to get that, I have to draw a line which is exactly parallel to my new budget line, but which is on my original indifference curve. Okay, because a higher indifference curve indicates higher income. Okay, so if I come back to the original indifference curve, I would actually understand what is the substitution effect for the change in demand that has occurred. Okay, so let me find a new point of tangency here and I call it as B. Okay, so now I have moved from A to B because of the substitution effect, but the income effect has pulled down my demand from B to C. Okay, so you can see that my substitution effect, suppose I give a value to B and I say B is equal to 20 units. My substitution effect is AB. Why? Because A and B both lie on the same indifference curve. Okay, so my substitution effect is 20 minus 4, which is 16 units. Now, income effect is BC. Why? Because from B, the consumption has reduced to C. My point C lies on the higher indifference curve. Okay, it lies on a different indifference curve. Okay, so my income effect is BC, which is 12 minus 20. Okay, which is equal to minus 8 units. Okay, so my B was 20, my C was 12. So income effect is actually moving the quantity demanded in the opposite direction. It is reducing the quantity demanded for good X because good X is an inferior good. So my net effect is substitution effect plus the income effect, which is 16 minus 8, which is 8 units. Okay, so this is the difference between normal goods and inferior goods. Now let's do a small concept check here. Substitution effect holds true for which of the following options? Inferior goods, normal goods, given goods, consumers with low income, and consumers with high income. So what do you think? I would say substitution effect holds good for every kind of good and for all the consumers, because as per the law of demand, whenever the price of good X decreases, the quantity demanded for good X increases. Okay, so the answer is all of them. Substitution effect holds good for all kinds of goods. Now let's look at this problem. Suppose rice is an inferior good for Alex and his income rises by 10%. So in which direction will his demand curve shift? Okay, so now let me try to draw this. So on the x-axis, I have quantity demanded for rice, and suppose this is my original income or original budget line. Now we know that when income increases, the budget line also shifts in the upward direction. So this is my new budget line, and I try to draw the indifference curve for both the budget lines. This is my old indifference curve for the original budget line, and this is my new indifference curve for the revised budget line after 10% rise in the income. Okay, so let's see how the demand has shifted. Now, according to my old budget line, the most optimal point of consumption was at point B, but according to the new budget line and the new indifference curve, the most optimal point of consumption is at point A. So what has happened? The demand has decreased from B to A. So in other words, the demand curve for rice has shifted downwards to the left. So as you can clearly see here, because rice is an inferior good, with the rise in the income, the quantity demanded for rice has decreased. Now suppose chicken is a normal good for Alex, okay, and his income rises by 10% from next year. So in which direction will his demand curve shift? So we all know for normal goods, with the rise in income, the quantity demanded also increases. So let's see how that works here. So again, on the x-axis, I have quantity demanded for chicken, and this is my original budget line, and this is my new budget line after the 10% rise in the income. And I have my old indifference curve as well as my new indifference curve, and we all know the point of tangency between the indifference curve and the budget line is the most optimal point of consumption. So let me try to find the most optimal point of consumption for my original as well as the new budget line, and then I try to name this as A and B. Okay, so now you can see that as I move from my old indifference curve to my new indifference curve, the most optimal point of consumption for chicken has also increased from A to B. So what has happened here? The demand curve has shifted upwards to the right.